hello everyone, and welcome to the Magickal Witchy World TV. I am Star Ravenhawk.
And I am Rhonda Allen. Welcome back, everyone. Happy Friday.
And we have a most wonderful guest tonight, so on with the show.
It's a magical, witchy world. It's a magical, witchy world.
Hello.
Hello, Reverend Don. Welcome to Magical Witchy World TV.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. It's good
Yeah.
good to see you both, and especially good to see
It's been a
Star.
while, right?
Yes,
It's been a
yes.
while since we've seen each other. And I'm going to quickly say again, I always love to listen to our theme music, written and performed by Dark Moon Spirit with Fred Scarf. Just
Yes.
wanted everyone to know because he did such a wonderful job with our theme song.
Love
Okay.
that song. Yes.
Yeah.
And we
Absolutely.
appreciate it, Fred.
Yes, and this is how much we appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes. So, as we like to do with every guest, we'd like to introduce you to our audience and go first through your bio. So,
Certainly.
Reverend Donald Lewis is first priest emeritus of the Carillion tradition, co-founder of witchschool.com, now celebrating its 25th year,
Wow.
production head of CarillionTV.com, now celebrating its 20th year, an archpriest of Isis, Knight Grand Commander in the Noble Order of Tara, and a member of the Triad Union, and the author of numerous books,
Yeah.
one of which I think you just received yesterday.
Yes. My newest book, Reverend Don's Book of Energy, just arrived from the
Awesome.
publisher
Awesome.
yesterday. And it will
Yay,
be
that
getting
is
mailed out probably on Monday.
That is
Awesome.
fabulous. Congratulations.
Thank
And
you.
everyone can find you at CarillionTV.com. We will be scrolling that throughout tonight's conversation. So welcome. Thank you again.
Thank you.
So we've been looking. Oh, right. You're doing his bio, right?
I already did his bio.
Oh, I'm sorry. See, I am slow tonight. I am so slow tonight.
It's okay.
Okay,
It's all
we've
good.
been looking forward to this conversation with you. So we're really happy to have you here tonight. Okay.
Thank you.
Over the years, and I know you've been around for a long time. So over the
Yeah.
years, you've had many names or titles that you've referred yourself as.
Yes.
And I don't mean by other people giving you titles or names, but what you've called yourself. Because as I remember calling myself Wiccan years ago, which I quickly move myself from that, and I'm just strictly a witch. But so we're just kind of trying to get the arc of what you called yourself when you began and where you are now and what your title and you're calling yourself now.
Well, if we mean in terms of the path that I follow, I'm Carillion.
Mm-hmm.
I was initiated 50 years ago as of Halloween of this year.
Wow.
And I've always belonged to the same tradition. Did not always describe myself as Reverend Don. We started using that title in the 1980s.
Mm-hmm.
And we started using it for social and legal purposes. Today, the Carillion tradition uses the Reverend title everywhere. We very strongly behind that for again, social and legal reasons. The first 10 years of my path, we would not have used that term. Though I do remember people back in the 1970s who did with it within our community, but we adopted Reverend in the 1980s.
Okay.
We have tended to consider ourselves Wiccan. Not everybody does consider us to be Wiccan. We adopted that term in the late 1970s and 1980s when it had a very different meaning from how a lot of people use it today.
Right. That's true. I forgot about that because back years ago, the word meant something entirely different to what people call it now, which is just like amazing to me.
Yeah, I mean, my people have found themselves controversial by staying the same rather than by changing when definitions. But we're not really worried about
Yeah.
it. And
That's
our reason for sticking with the term Wicca is legal. It has the most legal recognition.
Mhm.
And so we will continue to stick.
That
Mm.
makes
Yeah.
that makes lots of sense in that regard. I understand that piece of it because it is
Yeah.
established. As you say, you were initiated 50 years ago. There's
Yep.
some time here that we're speaking about. Well, let
Yeah.
me
And in
let me-
those days, we would have just said witch.
right, makes sense. Tell us a little bit, and I want to take it back now. I want to go to the storytelling piece. Tell us a bit about what it was that brought you to the understanding that this is the path you needed to journey.
Mostly my mother. And also my cousin Crystal, who was my primary teacher. But they were both my teachers. My cousin Gloria was one of my teachers. My family were Corelli. Whatever Corellianism is, it goes back in the family, and I was raised with that. So I did not come to this path as an act of rebellion, but more of a fulfillment of my parents' expectations for me, which is
That's
unusual.
wonderful.
Yes, that is.
It is unusual, honestly speaking. So
I
that's
think
one.
that's one of the reasons why I often have a different point of view from some other segments of the community. And occasionally that causes controversy, but I tend to stand by the positions that I take, and most of them are made for very grounded, practical reasons. Survival and prosperity have always been among my primary motivations. And I very often have asked myself over these 50 years, is what we're doing going to help us as we move forward? Or is it going to hurt us? If it's going to hurt us, how do we fix that?
Right.
And if it's going to help us, how do we increase that?
Right.
Years ago, my cousin Crystal, who I mentioned as my primary teacher, this is a weird story, but she had a telephone that was not working one night. An old-fashioned landline with the tail and everything. And we decided to do Reiki on her phone. We didn't call it Reiki, we were doing energy healing, but it was the same basic thing.
Right.
And part of the conversation that led up to this was based on the idea, as expounded by a teacher called Sunbear, that everything you do should grow corn. If it doesn't grow corn, why are you doing it?
Right.
Meaning, if it can't help you in a practical situation, why are you doing it?
Right.
And as I recall, we did have some luck with the phone. It didn't fix it exactly, but we had some luck with it. But I found that electronics do respond to energy. Not always predictably, but they do. And that attitude of growing corn, I think it is some of the best advice I've ever received.
Very good.
Simple but potent. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
And it's interesting. It's interesting that you said that you've always kind of referred to yourself, even years ago, back in the 70s, as Wiccan. But again, the word meant something entirely different to what they represent now. They've even given it a whole religion and status and everything else with it. And you're sitting back and you're looking at it going, I'm sorry, I have no idea what you're talking about. It's just like you're looking at it and going, it's not a recognized name anymore in the way that you knew it. That I have to kind of separate myself from it because I'm just like, this is not.
A lot of people that I've known have done that.
Has what?
A lot of people I've known have moved away from the term Wicca over the years.
Yeah, because we knew it as something else.
Yeah, it was a very broad, heterogeneous community with disparate origins and differing traditions. And there's an increasing attempt to make it very uniform in a way that would have been unrecognizable 50 years ago. But, we're not ready to move off the word just yet. But, what other people do must be what is right for them.
Yeah, yeah,
A lot of people who once considered themselves Wiccan now identify simply as witches.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think that's a benefit to the Wiccan community. I think it's a great loss.
It's yes and no, because unfortunately, the word means entirely different from what we knew it as.
Mhm.
Entirely. And they're running with it, and
Oh,
it's
they
it's
are.
taking over. It's taking over the topic of what it means. And if that's where they're going with it as what it means, I can't associate with it. I'm just,
Yeah.
I just can't.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
language is a living thing, so it's
Right,
going to
exactly.
evolve,
And,
Well,
right?
yeah.
and
It's
yeah,
going to take on
and
different
pretty much
meanings.
what they're doing is they're pretty much saying, damn the etymology and where it came from and what it really means. We're going to make it what it is. And they're
Well,
adamant
you're
about it.
right.
And they're so sure about it that you're sitting there going, I'm not going to argue at all
You
with
know,
you.
and a lot
That's
of
what
their
you want
history
to
is
take it
crap.
as. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
If you'll pardon me
I'm
being
not
so
going to argue.
explicit.
No, that's fine. We don't
Yeah.
have a problem with language yet.
Yeah.
I mean, we could get way into the origin of the modern community and be very controversial, but that's not really why we're here.
No. We can have
I'm
that as
not-
one of the panels that we
It's-
have.
Yes, because it's a valid conversation.
It
It's an
is, it
absolutely
is.
valid conversation. But yes, maybe for a panel that would be
Yeah,
an
we'll bring
excellent
that
topic.
back for a panel
Yeah,
discussion
yeah.
and go on. But anyways,
Yeah.
to go on from there, from your point of view, what does it mean to be that witch or that Wiccan? Yeah, what does it mean to you? Again, it kind of follows in line with what we were just.
Mhm.
Well, there are two answers to that for me, but I'm a Gemini. I often come up with two answers. The first one is personal. For me, it's a path of self-discovery and a path of self-development.
Mm.
I think one of the most important things in the path is shadow work. Learning to deal with all of your internal blockages, all of the things that you believe that you don't consciously know, really learning who you are. I believe that we all practice magic unconsciously every moment we're alive. When we learn to practice magic, we're just taking conscious control with unconscious phenomena. But
Right.
part of that is we have to know ourselves to be able to do that well.
Yeah.
So at a personal level, it's a path of self-discovery. But at a priestly level, it is a path of service.
Mhm.
And it's a path of service to the world, but particularly to your tradition mates, especially people who are looking to you for a position of leadership.
Right.
And I was in a position, well, I'm still in a position of leadership. When we started with the autobiography, we started with First Priest Emeritus, which means that I'm retired from daily functions. So I'm still a member of the First Priesthood, which is the priestly leadership of the tradition.
Mhm.
But I spent decades in that role. And it's all about service, really. And often, depending how things go, it's often thankless service. But
It is.
you
It
can't.
is.
Yeah, and because you're in the same position.
Yeah, and Rhonda as well. Yeah, with all that we do, it's
Mhm.
it is a thankless thing, but it's also our passion and what we want to give, and
Right.
Yeah,
we do it without thinking, and we just kind of go, "Oh, this is what we
Mhm.
do."
what we're called to do.
Yeah,
And it really is a vocation.
yeah,
And if you're called to it, I feel like you really can't not do it.
exactly.
Take a break every now and then, but you can't not do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well said.
Your spirit will rebel.
Yes.
Well, that
Unfortunately.
it is true. And that takes me to this next question that we
Mhm.
like to ask, which is, you grew up literally, this was what you
Mhm.
grew up in, your tradition, Carillion tradition. So it's a part of your day-to-day.
Mhm.
Speak to us a little bit more about how you recognize how it moves. Like you said already, magic we are practicing it at every moment of every day, but now we have to be conscious of what we're doing. How do you incorporate it? How do you acknowledge it in your day to day? How does it stand out? How do you recognize it as, oh, this is actually what I'm doing right now?
I feel like that varies from person to person.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking for myself, a lot of it has to do with the ancestors and spirit guides.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked with them very intensively throughout my life. I've worked with energy and energetics very intensely throughout my life. Energy healing, psychic reading. I spent many years being a professional psychic. I arguably still am. All of these are ways in which my spirituality is very much part of my daily life. It's not necessarily arcane things, but everyday things
Right.
define it to me.
Right.
There are plenty of arcane things. There are little bits of spell work here or there. There's my altar behind me. You can kind of see it.
Beautiful.
It was a gift from students many years ago for my 40th anniversary.
Wow.
As first priest. But I think that it's the everyday thing, the interaction with spirit in your daily life, that is most important. And you can forget to do that sometimes. But again, you can't really walk away from it. They'll pull you back.
Right.
Yeah, I was just going to say, sometimes whether we are consciously, you may not have planned to do something particular that day, but spirit will kind of bop you on the head to say, guess what's happening today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's more than just what's happening today. It's what's happening this year.
Yes.
Decades.
Yes.
And it's not always what you planned.
Yeah.
Or
want. Not always plan.
That can be true too.
To deal with it.
I've had people ask me, how do I know what I'm here for in life? What was I put here for? And my answer is, you'll get it. But it will come at a certain point. And I had my role in life from very early on. But before I was probably in my 30s when I really understood how everything was interacting. And I'd had many things in life that seemed like they were momentary adventures that led off in a place I didn't follow up on. And then in the 90s, everything pulled together. Things that I thought I'd wasted my time on, things that I liked but thought I'd never do again. Suddenly they were all very useful. Because, I never expected to spend as much time on camera as I've done.
Wow.
I did expect to work with film. And back in the 80s, I was working on an amateur movie, for example. But the idea that I would be going around interviewing people and doing daily vlogs and daily broadcasts, when it came about, was a bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
I can remember back in the 80s when I would have to do different television shows as a professional psychic. I'd be basically terrified of that camera.
Wow.
I'd hear myself speak and say, is that my voice? And looking back from now, that's so surreal.
Yeah.
I find for myself that what I do when I do video is I think of the person on the screen as someone different from me. I find that makes it a lot easier to work with.
Okay.
Excellent.
I've run into
on a roll kind of a thing.
Yeah. It when I'm not thinking of it so much as myself, I can say, well, that doesn't look as good as it should, or that looks perfectly fine, or the lighting needs to be changed, or that's a color I should never wear again, or whatever. But none of it is personal. Dealing with another person.
Right.
And in psychic reading, you have to have certain distance from what you're doing.
Okay.
Yes.
And I think that's helpful in broadcasting.
That is excellent. I when we talk about magic as being a part of your daily life and your daily practice, and it's I don't want to say just sort of it flows through, as we were saying. It could be a day, it could be a month, it could be a year, it could be a decade, what have you. I'm curious about how you are there times where you feel you need to, as you were just saying, that separation, that distance as you were
Oh,
doing
yeah.
your psychic, where you need to just kind of step back? Yeah, tell us more a little bit about that.
Oh, well,
Hmm.
for years and years, I broadcasted almost daily.
Mm.
I had a massive acute heart failure incident
Oh
Mm.
wow.
with accompanying
Okay.
brain injury.
Mm.
I did not stop broadcasting. I did stop for a couple of weeks while I was in the hospital, but as soon as I got out, I was broadcasting again.
Jeez.
Um, about 6 months ago, I decided I needed to take a step back from that and just consider everything in my life, consider what I wanted to do, what my next projects were going to be, and how I was going to express my spiritual calling in this new phase in life.
Yeah.
And I've found that taking that time is very beneficial.
Mm.
And I probably will be starting broadcasting again soon.
Jeez.
Never really stopped writing, but I
Mhm.
did pull back on a lot of the projects.
Mm.
Um,
That's interesting.
but I do find that sometimes you have to step back
Yes.
and take time for yourself. Talk to the ancestors and the spirit guides, however you perceive them,
Hmm. Hmm.
and maybe do a little healing. Maybe do a little grounding and centering in your own life.
Yes.
I mean, it's an act
Absolutely.
of service, but you can lose yourself in that service sometimes too.
Yeah, you do
Without
get
question.
burned out. You do get burnt
Yeah.
out. I'm sorry. It does happen.
Uh, all too often.
Well,
Yeah.
I remember back when I was in the pagan press in the 1980s, and a lot of people I was working with had faced that same problem.
Mm.
One of my close friends, Donna Lyon Rose, who did a magazine called Seasonal Silver,
Hmm.
had totally withdrawn from the community for quite some time at that point, and then begun to reintroduce herself because she had just gotten so burned out
Yeah.
in
It happens.
all the stuff.
Yeah.
I've known a number of other people to have that happen. It's happened to me more than once.
Yes.
But I find that if you listen to yourself and you step back a little bit in the short term, you can reinvigorate yourself for the long term.
Right.
Indeed. I just want to acknowledge everybody in the chat. Thank you for
Oh,
joining us tonight. Thank you for
yes.
joining us.
Hello, everybody in the chat.
Okay. One of the next questions I would like to always ask people is, what has become important to you, especially right now? Because I know many things, because you've been in this community for many, many years,
Mhm.
and you've been at the forefront of so many different important things, and causes and different things. So what have you picked up now? What are you thinking of being as important to you right now?
Well, again, I have two answers to that.
Mhm.
The personal answer is relationships. In the end, I think that really is always the most important things in life. I am very fortunate to have people who love and support me,
Mhm.
including we mentioned before coming on Ed the Pagan, my nephew Jason and his family, my successors Phoenix and Alyssa, and numerous other people. And I'm very grateful for that. So on a personal level, I think it's those personal relationships that in the end are most important. But on a professional level, we're still doing Magic TV / Corellian TV. We are going back to the original name Magic TV.
Mm.
And our newest project is the Great Pagan Library.
Mm.
And we are hoping to assemble here in Danville a massive library for preserving knowledge for the future.
Right.
And we feel that this is a matter of growing importance as technology changes and society changes.
Right.
And having physical copies of information is as important as having digital copies. They're both vitally important. One of the things,
second that wholehearted.
One of the things that I often talk about, because I've been involved in energy healing for many, many years. Back in the 70s, when I was learning this, there were all kinds of little pamphlets and booklets and things out there, basically aligning the chakra system and the endocrine system. And there was a wide range of literature on this. Try to find it now. It's rather difficult to find. A lot of it never made it online.
Right.
This is one reason in my mind that we need to hold on to that physical copies of our information. We were talking about the change in the word Wicca. The pagan press from the 1980s dealt with that much wider definition of this word. And holding on to those records, I think, is very, very important for the future, if nothing else, to show how things changed.
Yes.
Right.
And how they changed.
Yeah.
I think
Absolutely.
is a great input for the future.
You're very accurate, because that's exactly when the term Wicca or Wiccan became different. Like, it went off into a whole vibe because of the I think it was 1988 with Scott Cunningham's book. It just went off into this whole other trajectory, and it's just like, okay, where are we going, kind of a thing. But yeah, I understand.
Well, you mentioned this huge project that my ears pricked up. I'm like, yes. And the fact that you're talking about preserving physical copies.
Right.
So excited to hear that. Speak a little bit more about the work you have with community. Tell us a bit more about the work with community right now.
Right now, most of what I do with community has to do with seasonal rituals. We have a couple of groups here in the area that I celebrate with, but we also do online ritual for all of the sabbats. I've been doing either audio or video online ritual for I don't know how many years now. And it's a very distinct technique unto itself.
Yes, it is.
In fact, I wrote a whole book about public ritual, ritual in theory and practice, because public ritual is such a different thing from private.
It is.
Absolutely.
Which a lot of people don't understand, that it literally is.
Yes.
And when they try to vibe off into it without knowing it, they tend to lose themselves, or like lose I don't even know how to put it. They just lose it.
There are a lot of things that are very good to know if you're going to try to do public ritual. Things about how to control the energy, things about how people's energy interact.
Yeah.
Things about how people can disrupt the circle intentionally or unintentionally.
Yes.
Avoid that. It's a discipline. It really is. Now, in our online rituals, we don't have to worry about those things because we have people in the chat room, but only the ritualists are active online. But that too is different.
Yeah, you have to control that too heavily.
Yeah.
If you don't, they can bomb you. I think it's called. I don't know what the word is, but yeah.
You don't have the physical things that you have in an in-person ritual. The way that we do it, everybody's a talking head, so you have to draw people in different ways. You have to get them to involve their energy in different ways than what you might do if you were standing in a circle together. Because you're standing in a circle together, well, you reach out your hands and you pull them in. But you have to do that with your voice, with visualization, with all sorts of techniques when it's a video ritual. And the other thing about the rituals that we do, and we have a whole group of online ritualists with Mary Hawk as the primary one, Reverend Mary Hawk. And we take both sabbats that are happening at the same time,
Hmm.
Northern Hemisphere, one in the Southern, and we celebrate them both together because our
Right.
audience is universal.
Yes.
We almost always have people from both hemispheres in that chat room.
Interesting. Fabulous.
And I have found that has given me a more holistic view of all of the sabbats,
Mm.
seeing how they correspond to their alternate.
Yes.
So you learn by doing new things.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so true. Almost like
Fabulous.
by osmosis. All right. So the next question I'd like to ask you is, what would you like to see us as witches or Wiccans accomplish? Because there's so many things that's going on right now. What would you like to see us accomplish?
I would really like to see us develop and propagate the skills that will allow us to survive and prosper in a changing world.
Mm.
I'd love to say that I'd like to see us all work together to do that. That's
Yeah.
some of our people couldn't work together to save their own lives, which might even be relevant to this conversation.
Point.
But we can still individually and as traditions do what is beneficial.
Right.
I
Right.
feel, Ed the Pagan and I have worked together for over 30 years, and we have always made it a point to be on the cutting edge of technology.
Hmm.
And this has pushed us forward more than anything else.
Right.
I think it's very important for our community to continue to do that.
Right.
And often our people tend to be Luddites. Technology. They want to avoid modernity. But we are living in this world.
Mhm.
We need to know how to do things online, how to use our computers, how to interact in a modern world while maintaining ancient ways.
Yes.
And if we don't learn those things, we'll simply be left behind.
Yeah,
Mhm.
this is true.
And what I would say to those people who say, well, leave me behind then, is, well, it's not going to be all of us. It'll just be you.
Yes.
Others of us will still be moving forward. So if that's
Important. We can't, I don't want to say head in sand is a solution. It really isn't a solution. So,
well,
tell us
one of my favorite stories,
Yes.
not to interrupt you, but one of my
No,
favorite
no.
stories, and I told this story to Selena Fox when I had her on a civil rights panel that we were doing
Right.
on our channel, because it's one of my favorite stories about her.
Yes.
It was one of the first pagan spirit gatherings. It might have been the first pagan spirit gathering.
Wow.
How long we've been involved with. It was the Pagan Spirit Alliance.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Before there ever was
I
a
remember that.
The early pagan spirit gatherings, they had a group of 30 protesters arrive with arms and being very threatening.
Wow.
And the 300 people who had gathered for the festival ran and hid in the woods
Oh my
and left
gosh.
Selena and a few other people to go deal with these protesters. Now, I swore to myself then that I would never be one of the people running into the woods.
Mhm.
What is in the woods but being alone and helpless if they
Yeah.
come to the woods?
Yeah.
We must be prepared to stand and, as much as possible, stand together if we
Yeah.
want to survive threats to our existence.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Pride is not going to save us.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, it's not happening the way we think. Unfortunately.
Yeah, it. I spent a lot of time in the last couple of years trying to warn about Project 2025.
Mhm.
And I was amazed how many people were not willing to listen to that message.
Mm.
How many people in our community still won't, even while they're watching it be implemented in front of them. This is a very serious issue. There are
Yeah.
still things we can do, but we've lost so many chances to prevent this.
Mhm.
25 years ago, Ed the Pagan and I were talking about what has become Project 2025,
Mm.
things that are now unfolding politically. If people would have listened then, we might not be where we are now.
Yes.
And I'd like to say, well, hopefully they'll listen now, but I'm not holding.
It's not happening. It's
Yeah.
actually, to me, I think it's a lot worse.
Yeah.
You got to go through it.
Honestly speaking, I've heard
Oh,
I've
go ahead.
literally heard many people who were out of the closet saying that they may have to go back into the closet
Yeah.
for their benefit, for their health benefit, or for their
Mhm.
livelihood, or for just for their life.
Yeah.
Which is kind of sad.
Oh, it's
Um,
horrible.
that people feel that they have to go back rather than forward. This is where we are right now in this world.
Well, I
Yeah.
have been publicly pagan since I was 13 years old.
Mm.
Because I was pagan in junior high school. I was publicly pagan in junior high school.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't wear a big sign on my chest, but I talked to people about it. I talked to teachers and other students about it, and people knew. I'm not going back into the broom closet at this point,
Right.
but I also realize that may become a dangerous position.
Mm-hmm.
It is a danger. And honestly speaking, from what you've been saying all along with your family and everything, if anything, you're like me. I never was in the closet.
Yeah.
Once I knew where my spirituality lay, I was never in the closet. I was just me.
Yeah.
When my family or anybody objected, I was just like, well, que sera, sera. You live
Right.
your life, I live my life. Bah, whatever.
But when I was a child, my family were very much in the broom closet, so to speak. And I know
Right.
what it's like to live with that fear. I know what it's like to be afraid, what if people find out, and are they going to kill us all?
Mm.
Right.
I can remember my father telling me how to behave if a mob came to the house to kill us. I
Right.
was 5.
Wow.
And I
Yeah,
made up
That's a sobering conversation.
I made up my mind then. I was not going to back down in fear from things like
Right.
that. And I'm certainly not going to start now. On the other hand, part of our philosophy at this point is building locally. After years of building nationally,
Mm-hmm.
we're in strong positions in our local communities.
Yes.
That's advice to people now.
Yes.
Make sure
Honestly,
Key and critical.
That
Yeah.
I've seen being very, very true, because many of us, I mean, speaking for myself, I'm not going to speak for others. I'm not going to go into the closet because I never was there.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been invited to a few events across the country,
Mhm.
and I have basically told them, no, thank you very much. In this skin color that I am, I do not feel
Yeah.
safe traveling outside of New York City. I'm not willing to do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm not
you're right.
in the closet, but I'm not stupid either. I'm not going to take myself into areas that may get me in danger with this skin color in this country right now. And whether people want to see it for what it is or not, that's our experiences as a person with this skin color.
Absolutely.
It's as it is.
It's a
Absolutely.
thing.
And that's the shit.
I have to say, one of the things that has greatly shocked me over the years is the amount of racism in our community.
I'm sorry. Could you say again?
The amount of racism in our community.
Oh.
Now,
Oh.
not
Yeah.
your group there in New York, but so many others.
Yeah.
It's astounding to me.
This is what I mean. I am
This
not
is I'm not
willing to
surprised.
travel out. I'm not even wanting to go upstate. I just want to stay in New York City because I know I'm safer here.
It's a,
Well,
it's
when I retired as first priest of the Corellian tradition,
Mhm.
there was a huge fight. Now, this happens every time there's a change in leadership in any tradition. If you've seen any tradition change leadership, you will probably have seen a fight.
Yes.
Right.
But I chose as my successor a prominent Black archpriest.
Mm-hmm.
I think that has a lot to do with the nature of the fight that followed. I was amazed to find so much racism in this tradition. Now, I think the racist members left.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. That often happens.
I don't
And
at a loss, but
I
I was astounded.
I think part of the awakening and awareness, which we see within our own microcosms and our own in our own communities. We're seeing obviously in the larger community overall, we're seeing that right now. But it is as disheartening as it is.
Hmm.
It is also of so much value. We have to go through it. I would much rather see and recognize that situation, that feeling, that
Yeah.
belief, and see that it's there, and then say, okay, now I know this is something we also either A, work through, or B, we part ways.
You're right.
But we have to address it.
Well,
We
I
have to
think
address.
that's going on all over the world right now.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
buy that for the
it
unfortunately.
really is.
and I
The
think
thing,
we're
the
being
thing I'm,
shadowed.
the thing I don't know if you're seeing it, but
Mhm.
the thing I'm not just disappointed, but I guess I kind of hold witches and Wiccans up to a higher understanding
I did
mentally.
once.
And
Mhm.
and then I realized, oh my goddess, there are so many of them that I can't do stupid.
Yeah.
I just raise my hand and I kind of go, I can't. And I'm not saying the words. I'm just my hand mean I can't do stupid, and I'm walking away because I'm realizing that a lot of them, they don't realize that they're making us not want to be around them.
No, they don't.
I and I'm just like, okay, you actually believe and think this particular way, so you're part of the problem. And the fact that they don't see that they make us with this skin color uncomfortable around them is amazing to me.
Hmm.
And I have to just kind of walk away, and I don't say anything. I just walk away.
And it yet again, though, it is an opportunity. And I'm not trying to sing the praises of just look on the bright side. I'm looking at the Riyama Scorpio. I just I want to either gouge out the wound and clean it up so we can heal. But I won't. I can't tolerate just not letting it to. I don't want to allow it to fester. So while it is uncomfortable and disheartening and depressing, perhaps all of the things, let's address the wound. Let's go through it and let's move on.
Well,
Having said that,
uh,
having said that, though, because we do have to move on, I want to ask the question. Tell us about. I mean, I know that you have, your first priest emeritus. So,
yes.
but there's still work that you're doing. There's still projects that's happening. So, tell us about what projects you have coming up, or things that you're thinking about doing.
Well, one of the things that I'm just in the process of completing is my new book.
All
Yes.
right, so you
Energy.
did mention that.
Just arrived in the mail yesterday.
Wow,
From-
that's again.
And as soon as I get that taken care of, I'll be on to the next book, which is going to be
Wow.
about ritual theater.
Oh, interesting.
Ritual theater and mystery plays.
Yes.
We're working on the idea of the Great Pagan Library, and we're continuing to broadcast. So I'm doing that.
Fabulous.
I am still a member of the First Priest of the Corellian tradition, basically in an advisory capacity.
Okay.
So there's always stuff going on there too. I will be going to Lustration in April. That's our big celebration each year. This year it will be in Nashville.
Oh, fabulous.
And
that's in April.
That is in April. Give me a second. I'll tell you the exact date.
Yes.
I
love
should have had it in front of me, but I'm old now.
Stop.
Actually, you said it earlier. The more you keep up with technology and other things, the younger you are. It does
Well,
keep
that's
you.
true.
It does, no matter what anybody says, which is why when you said some of them say, go on without me, it's basically saying you're giving up and you're not willing to keep up, and if they've literally done the studies, and older people who keep up with technology do keep up, and their minds and everything is much but younger and better.
Stay fresh.
So
fresher. So the date's in April.
It's in April. I'm not finding it. You can find it on
No worries.
Facebook.
And CarelianTV.com, I'm assuming,
Yeah.
has the dates as well. So I'm going to scroll that again. Perfect. Star.
Okay. So what events do you have coming up this year, if you're doing any? Because I know you kind of took a step back from events because you used to do Wishes Fest, but you took a step back. So I don't know if you're still doing any.
I'm
Aside from
not
the
doing
event
a
April.
lot.
Huh?
I do still do the Corellian events,
Right.
and we have the global illustration. The date for the global illustration is April 17th this year,
Oh, wow.
and that will be in Nashville. Then
Oh,
in
okay.
several regional ones. I will be at the Midwest Regional Illustration in Peoria this year. Whether I go to any others remains to be seen. I don't travel.
Right. I know.
I would like to see it again, but you know, I'm
Thanks,
much
Mike.
better
Understandably.
than there for a
And
little while.
your appointed high priest Phoenix is definitely coming this year as per usual. So we're happy to have him.
And I'm very happy that he is going there.
Yeah. He's
It's
absolutely
been-
wonderful. We
Yeah.
always welcome him every year because he's so wonderful.
Yes.
He is. I'm very pleased with how everything worked out in terms of succession. There was a bit of- it was a nasty fight, as political fights often are.
Yeah, I thought so. I was like, but I was happy to see it, and I'm proud of the fact that you did that.
Thank you.
It proves that you're forward thinking. Although people may say other words other than forward thinking, but it's okay. I don't mind them thinking other ways, but whatever. To each his own. You know, I am proud of what you did, and
Thank you.
he's very happy
That's
that
the
you
best
chose
person.
him. And yeah, everything. I think you did. I think you did a wonderful job.
Thank you.
Well,
appreciate
I have to say, it's been an absolute pleasure having you here tonight. I have to go now and dig up your books, including the latest. I'm really excited about the library, so I have to keep my eyeballs peeled for all of that work. That is like fabulous. We're scrolling where people can find you, CarelianTV.com. As you mentioned, remind us the name that it's going back to?
Carolean TV, yeah. And tomorrow,
Okay.
February 28th, is our 20th anniversary as a YouTube channel.
Oh, nice.
Amazing.
We joined
Amazing.
That's a long time.
after we formed.
That is
Before
fabulous.
that, we were a separate channel, but we joined YouTube when they formed up.
That is fabulous.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Reverend
It's
Don.
such a pleasure, right? It's such a pleasure. And you know what? We're gonna bring you back for that panel. We're gonna definitely put up that panel. And
Yes.
I would love to be part of
So we can have a nice argument.
Excuse me. So we just want to thank you again. And for everybody watching, just a reintroduction for our new shows here on Magickal Witchy World TV.
All right, everyone. So the last time we began going into your horoscope for Pisces season, February 18th through March 19th, 2026, and one of the most potent solar seasons of 2026, and the influence of the fish being always transitional, helping us wrap up this astrological year to begin a new one. And we stopped, I believe, at Cancer. So now, was it Cancer or Libra?
I
I'm not
think
sure. But we're beginning this month now with Leo.
yes.
Okay. We're beginning with Leo, and I'm going to start from there. So, Leo, let's dive into the mysterious Leo. Pisces
Mhm.
rules your transformation sector, and as Mercury went retrograde in the area of your chart between February 25th and March 20th, profound realizations were meant to find you, especially when Mercury activates Jupiter on March 8th. Awakenings concerning intimacy, spirituality, and a close relationship could be the catalyst for you to make a change. And as Jupiter goes direct in your spirituality sector on March 10th, a deep sense of inner trust and happiness could take over for you. This is a powerful time to practice gratitude for all the positive things in your life. This season's triple alignment between Venus, Saturn, and Neptune heralds a completely new way of seeing the world around you. You may notice yourself slowly desiring to move from a passive mindset to a much more active attitude starting March 6th. The astrological era of fire is now in full swing, so you may notice yourself feeling more comfortable moving through the world. As at the March 3rd lunar eclipse, you may decide to make changes to your finances, preferring to only spend on the services and things that resonate with you.
Mm.
At a deeper level, you may also notice any insecurities around your sense of self worth melting away, making room for more personal confidence for you to grow. Your retrograde crystal ritual, obsidian, and that would help
Mhm.
surface emotional trust and supports deep inner work. Holding it during moments of emotional intensity or reflection, or when you feel like you need some protection. Use it intentionally, only for short sessions to avoid being overwhelmed. Okay?
Fabulous. Awesome. Now for you Virgos. Pisces season promises to be a time of change and powerful revelations, Virgo. A lineup of planets parked in your relationship house puts the attention on your closest relationships. And when Mercury began retrograding between February 25th and March 20th, you may be called to review some of your contracts or closest relationships. Within this period, conversing with a trusted friend around March 8th could shine a light on some of your deepest feelings. And do keep an eye on how conversations go around March 15th, the Ides of March, as exchanges could get heated due to the involvement of Mars. But the biggest news this season is the March 3rd lunar eclipse that's coming up. March 3rd lunar eclipse, and it happens in your sign. This is another step in your current journey of letting go, which began back in January of 2025. As you move away from what no longer serves you, the positive presence of Jupiter in Cancer accompanies you. As this planet goes direct on March 10th, a new friend could come into your life or an existing relationship could deepen. While Jupiter remains in Cancer between now and July 7th, you could find social groups that share your same focus or interests, so keep an eye out for those as well. Your Mercury retrograde crystal ritual, and that first start off with rose quartz. I love this. I know it's a very common quartz crystal, but it's a perfect crystal to work with. It softens communication, it promotes compassion during relationship reassessments. Keep it near during important conversations or place it in a shared space at home. Either meditate with it or touch it before having important or even emotional conversations.
All right.
Mhm.
The Libra shifts are on the horizon. This Mercury retrograde will have a practical effect on you as it's occurring in your sixth house of work and daily processes. Delays with projects and tech mishaps are meant to occur, exposing the need to either review important projects or even rethink your overall processes. Be specifically patient, be specifically patient around March 15th when trickster Mars comes into the picture. The great news is that the work you perform during this retrograde can truly bring you growth and expansion once the retrograde is over, due to the involvement of Jupiter. The planet of expansion goes direct in your career sector on March 10th, bringing some of the best weeks to go after your professional dreams, because Jupiter will remain there until July 7th before it enters Leo. What transpired for you around February 20th? I want you to think back about that. And then what would happen around March 7th when your planet Venus enters Aries and meets with Saturn and Neptune. You may notice a reinvigoration of the themes that happened back then in February, okay? Around February 20th. A major new beginning arrives for your relationships, most likely heralding a much stronger attitude and stance when it comes to friendships, personal relationships, and even business contracts. You may notice this new way of relating on the days after the March 18th new moon in Pisces. Your retrograde crystal ritual, again, clear quartz, brings focus and helps you reorganize daily systems with intention. Place it where you plan your day or keep your planner. Okay.
Mhm.
Use it for your daily morning meditations while setting intentions for restructuring anything that you have to do. Okay. So think about it.
You guys, I'm getting over this cold still. It's still lingering. But anyway.
I know.
All right, Scorpio. When was the last time you fully relaxed, Scorpio? Let me think about that. The astrological alignments of Pisces season are ideal for taking a break, a vacation, or at least a weekend getaway. A lineup of planets will activate your fifth house of fun, romance, and creativity, making this month ideal for socializing and enjoying life. Between February 18th and March 5th, Venus began to boost your charm, bringing dating opportunities your way. Do keep in mind, Mercury began retrograding in this same sector of your chart starting on the 25th, which we know, and it'll go all the way through to March 20th, most likely bringing re encounters with people from your past. This upcoming March 3rd lunar eclipse falls in your social sector, bringing change to either a friend group or even some of your collaborations. You may notice you no longer want to invest your time in either the same people or the same activities you share with them. The energy accelerates around March 6th when Venus enters Aries and meets Saturn and Neptune. Some of the changes you've been wanting to implement in your work processes take flight now. So be prepared to be busy and flexible, as you may need to make shifts in your routine and even in your schedule. All right, so the Mercury retrograde crystal ritual for Scorpio. That crystal is carnelian. It reignites creativity flow and confidence when inspiration feels blocked. So wear it or keep it nearby while creating, dating, or even doing something playful. It helps avoid overthinking and it reconnects you with your joy.
All right. So, Sagittarius, important shifts are in the cards for you. This Mercury retrograde that arrived beginning February 25th and head straight to March 20th will have you focused on your foundation, home, and family. Anything that feels shaky will be exposed as you can either fix it or rethink it. Some conversations might get intense around the 15th of March when Mercury meets Mars, but if you dare to go within and do the work, growth is promised. Mercury retrograde will be collaborating with Jupiter, your planet, which goes direct on March 10th. Between now and July 7th, this warm planet could open the doors to a deeper rapport between you and your partner or someone special. Your career sector is also highlighted this season with the arrival of the powerful March 3rd full moon lunar eclipse. This is a part of an 18-month journey that is all about leaving behind any energies that might be misaligned. Expect shifts not only in processes but also in your long term goals. And under this energy, what drove you before might no longer light your spark, leaving room for other goals to emerge in the future. It's now important to trust that as 2026 unfolds, the universe promises to bring a lot of new beginnings. Your Mercury retrograde crystal ritual, Moonstone, I love that stone,
Mm.
supports emotional balance and intuition during family or home related shifts. Place it in your living space or hold it during moments of emotional reflection. Great for grounding before either important conversations or family dynamics. All right.
Right on. Okay, Capricorn. This is an incredibly important season for you, Capricorn. Your planet, Saturn, recently entered Aries, initiating you on a 2.5 year journey, which occurred around February 20th. So think back as to what transpired for you then. As Venus enters the same sign on March 6th, you're getting more insights into the new energies coming into your life that could become relevant over the next few years. It's possible that changes around your foundation, meaning home and family, take place now, so it's important to stay flexible. As these shifts occur, the retrograde of Mercury will assist you in fine tuning how you communicate with your environment. Occurring in your third house of communication between the 25th of February and March 20th, it could be the catalyst for confusion or misunderstandings. But if you look deeper, it may be shining a light on a new way of thinking about an important situation. After all, the March 3rd eclipse is all about leaving behind any of the beliefs that no longer serve you. As you let go of the old, positivity comes into your life too. Some of your closest relationships receive blessings this month as Jupiter goes direct in your partnership sector on March 10th. Between now and June 29th, a romantic or business relationship could deepen or solidify. Capricorn, your Mercury retrograde crystal ritual, you're working with blue lace agate. Beautiful. Which encourages calm, clear communication and reduces anxiety around expression. Keep it in your pocket during busy days and hold it before phone calls or difficult conversations to slow down your thoughts.
Wow, that's awesome. Aquarius, Pisces season highlights some important themes to pay attention to. Your second house of money, possessions, and personal values is highlighted by Mercury retrograde. This is the best time of the year to look at your finances. Um, if you had debt or other financial goals in mind, the days between February 25th and March 20th are ideal for establishing a payment plan. The March 3rd full moon eclipse in Virgo highlights similar themes, but this time involves a second party. Patience may be required as everything may fall into place once Mercury begins moving at a regular speed on March 28th. This season also promises to be busy on multiple fronts. With your planet Uranus now moving direct in your fourth house, you may be figuring out the solution to some unexpected situations at home. Work promises to be busy as well as Jupiter goes direct on March 10th in your daily work sector. Between now and June 29th, you could attract clients or receive expansive assignments or interesting projects. You reach high levels of productivity, but it's also important to avoid overcommitting your time, skills, and other effort to avoid burnout. We were just talking about burnout before with
Mhm.
Donald Lewis, Rev Don Lewis. So think about that. Your Mercury retrograde crystal ritual, Adventurine. I love that stone as well. I love all the stones. That's just
Yes,
a
yes.
and supports abundance and reassessment of what you truly value. Keep it in your wallet or near financial documents.
Mhm.
Use it when budgeting, making spending decisions, or when you're considering making a purchase. So think about all of that where your money is concerned. And right now, money is a big deal. So
Big
think
deal.
about
Big
it.
deal. All right, Pisces. Pisces, during Aquarius season, you said goodbye to two long term transits, and Pisces season provides you with the opportunity to process a lot of the events that have transpired in your life in the past years. Mercury going retrograde in your sign began between February 25th through March 20th, bringing some nostalgia about the past, plus some awakenings concerning important events that recently took place in your life. Let's do this so you can hear me. You can't hear me if my
Yes. No, I
microphone is
can hear
off.
you. Yes.
I was coughing.
Sorry.
So, sorry about that. Going within can be deeply healing, so allow yourself time to slow down. The March 3rd full moon lunar eclipse is part of this process. You may realize some of the deals, contracts, or relationships you've had for some time are no longer resonating with you. With nebulous Neptune out of your sign now, you're feeling more clarity around the way you relate to others. You may feel a surge of positivity actually take over around March 10th with lucky Jupiter, when lucky Jupiter goes direct in Cancer. So between now and June 29th, this lucky planet inspires you to enjoy life. You may take a trip, explore your creativity, and perhaps even spend more of your time socializing or dating. You may also notice a warmer energy coming into your family or closest circles, bringing you together in the spirit of love and union. All right, Pisces, your Mercury retrograde crystal ritual, aquamarine. And this helps you express yourself clearly and stay emotionally fluid during personal recalibration. Wear it as jewelry or hold it before speaking your truth. It's great for grounding, even before or especially before important conversations. Lots going on.
Mm-hmm.
Busy month. But now, of course, we have to pull some cards. Woo-hoo. Well, everybody's got their eyes focused on this upcoming, oh my God, lunar eclipse, March
Yes.
3rd,
Yes. See, everybody's thinking
Virgo.
about it, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yes.
And so we got
Okay,
this.
so what are we pulling a card on tonight?
Well, we're gonna be focused on that lunar eclipse. I'm
Okay, let's see what
curious
we
to
got.
know what are you. If we're talking about clearing and letting go of stuff, let's look at what we need to clear out and let go of.
All
What do we
right.
need to clear out and let go of? So if
And
you
that
have your
lunar
cards
eclipse is
handy,
always trying to expand things a bit. So
I mean, it
very important. Very
this
important.
is a particular one. It really is a particular one. So
All
let's
right.
look at what's the thing that I need to get rid of. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm just gonna say this is a really interesting card. The area that I need to be looking at or focus on with this upcoming full moon lunar eclipse in Virgo. Let me
Oh
get
wow.
myself organized and clear out what doesn't serve me anymore. It's my King of Pentacles energy. So, what does that talk to me about?
Oh,
O,
boy.
M, and G. More than anything, because my card actually came up reversed. More than anything, what that suggests to me is that your girl needs to be really organized about where her efforts are going financially, meaning where are your resources? And when I speak resources, for me, it's not just my money, it's my
It's
time, it's
everything.
my
Yeah.
physical being, it's all the things. So I need to be a bit more organized, bless and release, let go of those things that really do not provide me a return on the investment. That is what I am getting as my message. And yes, I am working with Star's favorite deck, the Witch's Tarot by Ellen Dugan.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah. It speaks the truth.
so
I always say it
yes, it
speaks the truth.
does.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Okay. So I have the star, and it's interesting
Ooh.
because it kind of remind me of the moons and all the different things.
Mm.
And if you look at it, the water and everything, it's just interesting that we were just speaking with Rev Don about being burned out and all the different
Mhm.
things and taking care of ourselves. And I think part of it is that well, for me, I need to replenish myself some more and not get so burnt out.
Yeah.
Um, there's a lot of emotional things going on, a lot, and it's kind of overwhelming. Um,
Mhm.
but I need to be able to, if I deal with it head on and I take my health into consideration, I think it will help me better than reacting. If I reacted, I'd be bitch slapping everyone upside the head.
Oh, girl.
I'm
No,
like,
it's important.
um, and being burnt out is a thing,
Mhm.
unfortunately. And we've been doing Witches Fest for 15 years, and it's our passion, it's our goal, it's to help so much, and it's a lot of work. And I don't think people realize how much work it is. So we need help.
We do. We
I'm saying
always use
to
help.
come out and help us with it because we need help, because it's a lot of work, and we do. It's mainly Rhonda and myself, and it's we do get burnt out. It's
Mhm.
a lot of work. Um,
And we appreciate all of y'all who do show up, because
huh?
there are people who are there day. You know how there are those key players who are always there.
Right,
Appreciate each and every one of them. But we
right.
could use a little extra help. That we're not
Yes,
going
we
to.
can.
We
We
totally
always
appreciate
can.
you. We always appreciate you. I just want to share something about that star card that you pulled up, because you talked about burnout, and the star card for me really has that strong undertone of rest and recovery.
Yes, yes. Because
Important.
our health is being affected.
It's
And
really key.
between the two of us, we've had a lot of health issues recently. And you're
Mhm.
like, really, even if we don't acknowledge the burnout, our bodies are saying, bitches, please sit down and
Yeah.
relax and heal, okay? Because we're going to
So,
smack you
buddy,
down.
thank you. I have a Substack. My Substack is the Arcane Tarot Society, and I published a piece today specifically about. Well, I don't want to go into all the details, but I do speak about how the impacts of last year, in particular, with health issues, as you
Yeah.
were, how it
You were
impacts.
hit with a lot. You couldn't even come in,
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
you
Things
know?
are
And we have to
improving. I
take care
still
of
have
that.
things,
We do
but
have to.
yeah. But anyway,
Yeah.
as we move
Anyway, so
forward,
but it's just so funny. We always get these cards that falls in lines with everything that we're doing,
I
which is
mean,
why I believe in them so much for what they are.
yes,
But it is what it is.
yes,
Our guest next week will be Brian Peters from March 6th.
yes,
And Rhonda and I would like to thank all of you in the chat for being with us here tonight. Um,
yes.
Ed Hubbard, Lola Shine, and a few others. Um, and of course, we want to thank our guest, Rev Don
Sunny,
Lewis, for sharing his wisdom with us and his knowledge and everything else that he shared with us tonight. And we are
yes,
definitely going to bring him back for some of the panel talks, like on the one on Wicca and
yes.
police with it, because that's interesting. Because it's a good talk there, because
Ooh,
I know my thoughts, because I do my studies and my entomology and all of that,
mhm.
and I find it. I'm not gonna say the words, but basically I find that more and more people need to learn their history of things before they open their mouths.
Yeah, well,
Just saying.
it's aspirational. I'm just saying
Yes,
we can
at least read.
aspire to have
It's
that
just,
happen.
people make this general statement about Americans not reading, and in some ways it's true, but I think Americans need to read more.
Yeah, we
Okay,
really do.
anyways, we want to thank you all and Rev Don for being with us here tonight, and all of you in the chat. And Rhonda?
Yes. Please do like, subscribe, and share. When you like the show, it does give us a little
Yes.
boost so we can get out there and other people can find us. And we really do appreciate that. Thank you guys everybody in the chat, everybody for watching live or on playback. We really appreciate you. Thank you for joining us this week.
Thank you so much. And see you guys next week.
We'll see you
Have a
next
wonderful week, okay?
Bye.
Bye.